Hi, my name is Chris Machado. I'm going to give you some spiritual tools on how to heal. Now, the first thing you need to know is that healing comes from changing the feeling. If you want to heal, you must change how you feel. You see, whatever problem you have is not a problem to God. You may say to God, I have this really big problem. But God says, well, I'm bigger than that problem. You say, no, I have this really big problem. And God says, well, I'm still bigger than that problem. And it doesn't matter how many really bigs you add to it, He's bigger than your problem. What you need to know is that if there's something wrong with your body, it can be healed. What you need to know right now is that you're in charge. And if you're in charge, that means that you get to choose. And if you get to choose, that means that you can change anything that you're experiencing. See, we are creators. We are spirits in the body. But most people are not aware of that. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. In the year 2002, I had a Kundalini awakening. Absolute hell for the first 2 years. And then it settled down, and the last year, before I reached the top of the mountain, enlightenment, was absolute hell. I think climbing, if I had to do it over again, I think climbing Mount Everest would have been easier. I think being in the bull ring with a dozen bulls would have been a more enjoyable time. Wrestling a great white shark would have been more pleasant, probably. I went through some great suffering. But you know what? It's over. We come from heaven, yet we put ourselves through hell. Suffering happens so you can realize that it doesn't have to happen. Because my frequency is very high, I have a very expanded consciousness, and I'm able to communicate with my spirit, who I call White Lion. And I have a group of masters around me at all times, and angels and beings. And one of the masters is Orias. He's a very wise being. And he once said to me, he said, just because you suffer, it doesn't mean it has to be your daily supper. You don't have to keep eating that meal every day. You see, suffering is the gateway to enlightenment. The more you suffer, the more you want to stop suffering. But all of your problems, your suffering, it comes because we are spiritual beings and we forget that we are spirit. We lose touch with our spirit. So all the problems come when we forget about our spirit. And all the problems go when we remember our spirit. So we need to, if you get in touch with the divine, it'll change your mind and you will feel good. You'll feel fine. You'll feel very fine. So, what you need to understand is that peace comes from release. You have to let go of whatever the problem is. Now, be it physical or mental, you can let go of anything. I've overcome some very challenging obstacles in my lifetime. I've had to navigate myself through it. I didn't have a master to work with. I had to learn it on my own. But I had a lot of beings around me who guided me through the way. They guided me to the right things to help me throughout the way. And what you need to know is that if you're experiencing a disaster, mentally or physically, you can change. Every master in life was once a disaster. I was a disaster once. I'm not there anymore. If you have a crisis in your life right now, all crises is change trying to take place. That's what it is. God speaks no louder to you than in times of tragedy. We don't realize this, but if we realize how powerful our thoughts were, we will never think a bad thought again. We don't understand the power of our thoughts. See, if you have a problem, physical or mental, You need to understand that it started off as a little raindrop. And as you keep thinking about it, giving it attention, it became a puddle, and a bigger puddle, and a pond, then a lake. It gets bigger, and it affects you more, and you believe it more. It hypnotizes you. But the good news is that you can stop feeding the fire. If you have a problem with your body, disease, whatever it is, schizophrenia, anything, understand that every time you think about it, you're giving it firewood. You're keeping it alive. You're activating it. You're activating a frequency within you which the universe responds to. See, as we think a thought, it activates a vibration. That vibration gets sent out into the universe, and the universe loves us, so it brings us what we think about. Whatever we think and feel, it will bring to us. So we need to understand that people spend a lot of their attention and thinking about things they don't like. They focus on what they don't want. And life will give you whatever you focus on. If you're worried about something, you're going to attract it to you. Now here's what you need to know. If you have a problem, nobody has ever solved a problem by worrying about it. Never. Worry is praying to the worry God. You pray to the worry God, He's going to give you more to worry. My angels told me that imagine being in a dark forest with a flashlight. You're trying to find your way out of it. Every time when you worry, you turn off the flashlight. You're in total darkness. You can't see where you're going. You're lost. You see, people feel lost in life. That's because they're lost in their thoughts. They're thinking all the time. So they're not in touch with the present moment. And now the good news is that the present moment, this is what has helped me the most. What has helped me the most is realizing that the present moment that has no disease, no suffering, no worry, no fear, no poverty. Nothing bad exists in the present moment. So all the things that you're experiencing, if you start focusing your energies on what is happening, the color of the grass, concentrate. Listen to the sounds around you. Every time you focus on the present moment, you are free. You are cutting off the fuel to the fire of whatever it is you're experiencing. So every time you keep bringing your attention, your focus back into the present moment, you are stopping whatever it is that you've been suffering from. See, the present moment is the presence of God. The present moment is a very beautiful place, and you are a very beautiful person. Can you imagine what happens when you two dance together? The present moment is where it's the realm of the gods. When you start focusing in the present moment, you awaken a different energy within you. You feel peace, you feel relaxation. And when you focus on the present moment, you start appreciating. It awakens gratitude. You're grateful for the colors, the sounds. You start to realize that this is what happened to me. I feel a lot of bliss. I feel so high sometimes I feel like I can fly. And let me tell you, you can be so drunk on bliss. And the reason you can become so drunk on bliss is because you realize that everything around you is spiritual wine. The flowers is spiritual wine. The grass, the sky, the blue sky, the water, it's beauty. You get drunk off of it. You're intoxicated. And I've developed my ability to live in the present moment, concentrate at all times. And the present moment, sometimes I go into such states of concentration where I feel this excitement coming up. It's ecstasy. I feel this powerful, powerful ecstasy. I was told once that I had so much ecstasy flowing through me, it was the equivalent of having sex with 20 girls at one time, if that were to happen. That's how wonderful it felt. It's a very nice feeling, but it's a fast current. I like peace. I like relaxation. See, if you have a problem, you have to let it go. If you don't let go, you won't be in the flow. When you let it go, you step into the flow. See, there's a river of energy flowing through you, and it flows out of you into the world. It affects all things. Now, that river goes out your feet into the earth. And when you think a lot, you feel ungrounded. You feel like something's off. So, the first thing I discovered is that every time you have your focus, your attention on your feet touching the earth, you're cutting off the fuel to whatever problem you have. It will diminish in size. It will start to lose power and momentum. So you need to remember that the more you're in your body, the less you're in your suffering. The more you can feel your fingers moving, rub your fingers. It puts you into the present moment. Be aware of the clothes touching your body. Hear the sounds. Be interested in what you've never been interested in before. When you look at a tree, what color is the bark? Is it light gray? When you hear a bird, what kind of bird is it? Can you see the bird? Be introspective. Show interest in the details. When you walk into a coffee shop and you look at somebody, what hand is their coffee cup in? What are they wearing? What color are their shoes? What is the floor made out of? You know, what are the signs being displayed? What colors are they? How big are the letters? Be interested in the details. You are taking your power away from your suffering and you are channeling into a state of peace and relaxation. See, think of a light bulb, a 100-watt light bulb. That is health. As you start thinking bad thoughts, that light bulb gets weaker and weaker and weaker. It goes to 75 watts, 50 watts, 25 watts. You may be at 10 watts right now. So you can bring your voltage back up to 100%, even if you're only at 2% voltage right now. And the best way I find is that when you focus on the present moment, there's no resistance. Your mind doesn't fight you. So as you focus on the present moment, your energy increases. You go higher. You feel a very peaceful feeling start to arise. And your body becomes healed. Your breath changes. You change all kinds of things in your body. So what you want to do is start to root yourself in the present moment. Now, at first it's hard if you haven't done it. Well, I shouldn't say it's hard. I don't believe in the word hard. But what you got to do is, instead of giving your energy to the problem, start saying, if you're walking to your car, say to yourself, as I walk to my car, I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to be present to what is happening. And then let it go. Go for the walk. And what happens is your beings, your angels, your fairies, yes, there's fairies. Many, many fairies. You have fairies, you have guides, you have angels, you have God. These beings will help you to be mindful. So you use your energy at first to be mindful. You say, I'm going to be mindful when I drink my coffee. I'm going to feel the warm cup. I'm going to feel the water coming down. You set forth the desire, the intention to be mindful all throughout the day. You set it up, and this is the quick way to do it. Instead of just trying to concentrate and pull your energy away from your thoughts. Now, all suffering comes from attachment. See, if you have a problem with your body, I don't care where it is or what it is, what you need to know is that it's an illusion. It's a cloud. And that people get afraid. They get afraid of whatever disease they have or whatever discomfort they have in their hand. What you need to know is that, this is what I'm quite aware of, is that there's only love. There's only God. God is the mysterious life force in all things. You can't put an image on God because God is imageless. He's boundless and formless. He flows through all things. He's flowing through your body. He's surrounded